What's going on, guys? It's CV Tsukiyomi, and I have another Weiss Schwarz deck profile. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm not quitting Cardfight Vanguard. I'm just waiting for set 8 to come out because I'm going to be playing Neo Nectar, specifically Sephiroth, the Ouroboros dragon, or Eye-Chain, because I think it's OP and really good. But right now this is a Weiss Schwarz video on my rewrite Kotori deck. I got a deck box, got a mat. I've been getting a lot of new mats lately, so I'm gonna get into this deck for you guys, so that way you guys kind of get an idea as to what it does. This is mainly a double color deck. It's just blue and yellow because it's like all Kotori, and all the Kotori cards are yellow and blue. So yeah, Rewrite's a good visual novel. It's pretty messed up, actually. The things that Key comes up with are absolutely crazy. So I'll get into it really quick. You know what? We're actually gonna start off with the climaxes. That way you guys know what they do and whatnot. So I'll start off with those. So we play 4. I forget the name. But this is a double critical or double soul if you hit it on trigger, and what it does is you can put a card in your stock and all your characters get +1 soul. So this is pretty good. Your climaxes in this deck allow you to really just do a ton of damage. And then we play 4. I'm pretty sure this one's Heart of Kotori. This is another double soul trigger, and what it does is you can draw a card, and one character I think gets +2000 and +1 soul. So this is really good in case you need to get over some higher level opponents, higher level cards that your opponent has. Pretty good. So we try to max out the damage so we can win as quickly as possible, because like as the game kind of goes on, the deck like kind of falls apart. So like you have to really kind of just hopefully apply pressure against your opponent and go for the win. So 4 of each, and then we'll start off with the level 0s. Alright, level 0s. First one I play is, I think this is Kotori in a swimsuit. This card's pretty good. Its base is 35, which I think for level 0 is massive. Like, this thing just has such a big body, it's really hard to get over. It's 0/0 and it's yellow, and it has a ability where while this card is out on the field, you can't play any climaxes, which isn't really a big deal in my opinion, because like on turn 1 you can just like drop this and you can just really swing over anything, and you really aren't in a position where you need to use climaxes like early game. So like it's not even that important. Like, it's not even really a restriction in my opinion. In some cases it might be, but in a lot of cases I don't think it is. This card just puts in a lot of work, and I think it's really good. So 35 base, you can't complain. Alright, next we play this Kotori. This Kotori is 35 as well. Not as good because when it swings, it stays rested. Like you can't unrest this card. Once it swings for 1 turn, it stays like this, and you can't use it anymore. Basically, it just sits there and does nothing. But it has another skill where while it's out, it gives 500 to all other characters, which is kind of, it's okay. It's not that great. So what you can do with this card is you can play it like as a turn 1 drop, swing, and get rid of one of your opponent's cards, and then if they can't get over this in the early game, you can just pull it back to the back and still give all your cards +500, which is really good. Just makes your level 1 game a bit better in my opinion. So, or level 0 game, so it makes your level 0 game pretty good. Alright, and then next we play 4 of this Kotori. I don't remember a lot of these names, guys, so I believe this one is just 25 base, and its skill is if you have 5 or more stock, you can give all your characters +1000. No, actually, I think what this card is you have two other cards or less on the field, they get plus 1,000. So like if you have this out and you have two other cards out, they get plus 1,000. And I think that's how it works. But if you have like 3 cards out, then this ability doesn't work. So yeah. So basically, the idea behind level 0s in this deck is just to give you a really, really big level 0 game. Like, just make it so your opponent really can't do anything. This one is your Kotori Searcher. What it does is, it's 25 base, and what you can do is, I think you can pay 1. Yeah, you can pay 1, and you can search for a plant or oculate type, which is basically everything in this deck. So, and what that does is you can search, which is pretty good. So, you can get something you might need. So it's not a bad card. I think it's pretty good. And then next we have Little Kotori. I need to find out what this card does really quickly, because I don't really remember, to be honest with you. Let me check for you. But it's a 15 base and it's blue. And that's pretty good, actually. It's not bad. Let's see. So this one skill is when you have, when you swing, you always trigger check, right? You always check the top card of your deck. And if you reveal a climax, you can give one of your characters plus 1,500 until the end of your opponent's turn. So that's really good, because what that allows us to do is, if we hit this in a 0 game and we have like something like this out, we hit the climax, we can give it to this and it can just get really big, and you can swing and it'll still stay big, and your opponent can't get over it unless they have a suicide. So just further increases your card's powers. So pretty good. I like this card. It's not like it's too situational because it's based off the trigger check, but I think that playing 2 is okay. So I think this is good. All right. Next, let's go on to the level 1s. All right. Level 1s, we're playing 4 of this Kotori. It's a level 1, 0 cost. It has 45, and what you do, or 45 base, and what you do is you reveal the top card of your deck, and if you reveal, I believe, if you reveal a plant type, it gets plus 1 soul, and if you reveal an oculate type, it gets plus 1,000, or no, plus 2,000, this card. So let's say you reveal like this card, which is both plant and oculate, you'll get plus 2,000 and plus 1 soul. But if you only reveal this card, which I'll get into later, it's just plant, so I think it only gets plus 1 soul, which is pretty good. So basically everything in the deck is a plant or plant oculate, or just basically plant or plant oculate, so it's going to get a skill, and a 65, for 1 turn, I guess 65 level 1 isn't bad, but it's not like great either. It's okay. So I think it's pretty decent for not having to pay. It's pretty good. What are we going on to? Going on to this Kotori, we play 3. And I'm pretty sure what this one does is, I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive this is what it is. If you have 5 or more stock, this card can get plus 1,000. So basically it'll become a 75 beat stick. For level 1, it's pretty good, and it only costs 1. So I think it's actually not bad. And this deck actually fills up stock like quite easily. So you really don't have to worry about the 5 stock. Like, it's almost like 90% of the time, whenever I play this card, I always have 5 stocks, so it's really good. And it can just sit there with 75, and you can get over some pretty decent cards that your opponent plays. So not bad. And then next we play Chibi Kotori. This is a promo card, and they were kind of hard to get, but not really. But I really like them because they're so cute. Basically, what this card does is it's a, I said in my previous video, it's basically a watered down Kalu or Honest from Yu-Gi-Oh! But what it does is when your opponent attacks, it's a backup assist, and or just a backup. So what it does is when your opponent attacks, you can drop this on your opponent's turn, and it gives one of your cards plus 2,000 power if you pay the cost. So just for an example, so that way people know, if you play this and your opponent has this is 35, this is 45, they swing, you can respond if you have this in your hand, and you can use this, pay 1 stock, use this, give it plus 2,000, and this becomes 55, and this gets reversed. So it's pretty good. This card can really just help you get rid of your opponent's cards. Mainly, I mean, it's an even trade-off because you lose a card and they lose a card, but in a sense, it's more beneficial for you because you lose a card that's not as important as a card that they had on the field. So this is pretty good. I really, really like these Chibi Kotoris. I think they're really good. I always like these. I generally try to only play 2, but in this deck I like it at 4 just because it's really nice just to have. So, pretty good. Alright, let's go into the level 2s here. Alright. Alright, so first off we're going to play these 2 Kotoris, and what these 2 Kotoris do is they're level 2, 1 cost, and they have 45 base, but you're really not going to be swinging with them. You're mainly going to be putting them in the back two slots, and what they do is for for the amount, for whatever level your cards are in the front row, they'll get plus 500. So if you have a level 2 out in the front row, it gets plus 1,000 because 500 for every level. So level 1, 500. Level 2, 1,000. Level 3, 1,500. So pretty good. And it's got another skill, and it's where you pay 1. And I think basically it makes it so your card doesn't die. But let me make sure. Let me make sure, just to make sure, because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but I'm pretty sure it's what it does. 63. I want to say it exactly. That way people know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so you get the 500 for X amount of level, and you can choose one. You can, if you activated second ability, you have to pay 1 stock. You have to rest this, and you get to choose one of your characters, and that character gains this ability where when battling opponents becomes reversed, you may put it on the bottom of the library for the turn. So I think that's actually your opponent. So if you attack your opponent, I think instead of their card going to the waiting room, it goes to the bottom of their deck, which is okay. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. So I don't know. I hardly use that ability. So, but I just use it for the X plus 500. For whatever level, so that's pretty good. And then next I play Forest or Kotori. What this does is it's a 8,000 for level 2, 1 cost, 8,000 base. And what it does is, I believe, while it's on the field, all other character cards get plus 500. So it's okay, it's not bad. I kind of like it, but, you know, it's not anything to, you know, write home about, so just okay. And next, this is a very important card. It's our Kotori change card. Let me. There's a lot of text on this one, so. All right, so this is our Kotori change card. It's a level 2 for 1 cost, and it has 7,000 base, which is not bad. Not bad. I think this is what, 9? 5. Alright. Well, I'm going to read this exactly. So, its first skill is when you have cross feelings in your climax zone, which is, I believe, It's one of these. I'm pretty sure this is Kotori's Heart, and then this is probably Cross Feelings. I'm not sure. One or the other. I'll have to look it up really quick. I don't remember. But when you have Cross Feelings in your climax zone, you may look at the top 5 cards of your library and choose up to one plant or oculate character, reveal it, and put it in your hand, and put the rest of them in the waiting room. And this gains plus 9,000 for the turn. So since everything in the deck is plant and oculate, you're basically guaranteed the search, and you basically get the plus, which is getting the free cards, so that's always nice. And you get the power boost. 9,000 for a level 2 is actually pretty good. The second ability is you can change it. So what you do is you have to pay 2 stock, and when you pay 2 stock, put this card in the waiting room, and at the beginning of your encore step, if it's rested, so basically if we swing and it survives, you may pay the cost, and then you can play your beloved Questionnaire Kotori, which is this one. Your level 3, one of your level 3 Kotoris, and this level 3 Kotori is pretty good. We'll get into this effect later, but basically it allows you to just go into your level 3 regardless of what level you're at, so that's pretty good. It's kind of like a special summon, I guess, if you want to call it. So that's pretty good, like this. Alright, and then we're on to the level 3, so I'll start off with those ones. This is your Questionnaire Kotori. It's a level 3 2 cost, but mainly you really won't pay the cost to play it. You'll basically go into it with the change effect from your level 2 Kotori. And let me pull this one up really quick, that way I know exactly what it does, but I'm pretty sure I already know what it does. Yeah, if you have 2 other plant characters, 2 or more other plant characters, this card gains plus 1,000 plus 1 soul. So as if 2 soul wasn't enough, it has 3 souls, so it's pretty okay. I think 3 soul, especially if you're playing this in the late game, might not be that great, but the fact that it gets the plus 1,000 is good, because I think 95 is kind of low. And then when this card is placed from your hand to the stage, from via change, so when we go from this to this, so from this to this, we get to draw 2 cards, and then you have to discard a card from your hand, so we get another plus off that. So that's pretty good. So we not only do we get to go into level 3 regardless of our damage, we get to get the plus 1,000 plus 1 soul if we have 2 or more other characters, and we get to draw 2 cards, but we have to discard 1, which is fine because it's still a plus 1, so that's still really good. We can't have everything broken, so not bad. And then next I play 4 Kotori, I think it's Kanbe. I'm almost positive, but I don't want to be wrong. Nope, it's just Kotori Kanbe. Her name's Kanbe. Alright, so this one's a level 3 with 2 costs, and it has 10,000 power, and its skill is that when it's placed from your hand to the stage, you may heal. So basically you take a card out of your damage, or your stock, or not your stock, your damage, and you put it into your waiting room, so your clock area. And then you can use its other skill, which is activate 1 if you have Heart of Kotori, which is this one right here. If you have Heart of Kotori placed in your climax zone, you may pay the cost, which is the 1 stock, and if you do, you choose a character in your clock and put it in an empty slot in the front row, and that character gains this ability, which is when this becomes reversed in battle, put it in the clock for the turn. So essentially what this does is, if we have the climax card out on the field, and we use this, not only do we get the climax's ability off, but we get to get a card out of our clock for the turn, which I think is really good because it gives you extra attacking power, and I think that's really good, especially in the later game, because the more cards we have out on the field, the more damage we can put on our opponent, so it's not a bad card. I think this one's a bit more stable, like a bit more consistent, which is why I prefer to play it. I prefer to play more over this one, because this one you can just go into it, you can just via change and get into it, so it's like doesn't matter. But this one's a bit more, it allows you to create a more consistent field. It allows you to give you a better field than what you already had, because you can get cards out of your clock and put them onto the field, which I really like. So, yeah, guys, that was my rewrite Kotori deck. I'm still getting used to it because a lot of the cards are kind of funny, but it is a really good deck. If you're interested in like playing Weiss Schwarz, Rewrite's a really popular series right now. So I'm looking into getting some more rewrite cards. So yeah, so I guess that's it, guys. I'm probably done for tonight. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.